Hi, I'm Annie Fitzsimmons. I'm your Washington REALTORS Legal Hotline lawyer. In this video, we want to discuss something that brokers are wrestling with if they are members of both Northwest MLS and an NAR MLS. With the implementation of the NAR settlement agreement effective August of 2024, the listings in those two different MLS systems have a key difference. In the Northwest MLS, the MLS will publish a seller's offer of compensation to a buyer broker. And in every NAR MLS, there is no publication of a seller's offer of compensation to a buyer broker. The result of these two differences in the MLS systems is that there are two very different listing agreements. Northwest MLS members will typically use Form 1A or Form 1B. NAR MLS members will typically use Form 1A SWF, stands for statewide forms, or 1B SWF. RMLS members may use the RMLS listing agreement. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to put the 1A SWF and the RMLS listing agreement into a single category. To differentiate both of those, and I'm going to refer to just them broadly as the 1A SWF or maybe even the NAR MLS listing agreements, versus the 1A, which is the Northwest MLS listing agreement. Because the question is, if a broker is a member of both Northwest MLS and an NAR MLS, and the broker wants to be able to input their listings into both MLS systems, how do they do that? What listing agreement do they use? And the answer to the question is, you're going to have to use both. You are going to have to use the listing agreement for Northwest MLS, and you are also going to have to use the NAR MLS listing agreement that you would use in the NAR MLS system of which you're a member. Now, maybe you hear that and you say, wait a second, that would obligate seller to pay compensation to my firm twice, because seller will have signed two different listing agreements, each creating an obligation to pay the listing firm whatever amount it is that the seller has agreed to pay the listing firm. And you're right, that is what will happen, which means that the firms whose licensees are members of both MLSs and wanting to list in both MLSs, firms, you're going to need to make sure that your brokers have something to hand to a seller, whether it's a representation, a written representation that you will only be charged one commission, one listing fee, whether it is an overarching agreement that somehow or another bridges the two listing agreements and makes clear to seller that seller will only be charged one listing firm commission. Something needs to be provided to the seller to assure them that even though they're signing two different listing agreements so that they can be listed in two different MLS systems, they will not be obligated to pay two listing firm compensations. If you have questions on this topic or any other, please ask me a question by visiting warealtor.org. Thank you for being a Washington REALTORS member.